friends, this is a lens that my friend Miguel brought to me, and it belongs to a friend of his. And what happens is that the diaphragm is blocked. My best guess is that it is oily, and we're going to take care of that. But before that, before this lens coming into my hands, the famous friend went to a camera shop and they asked him or her, I don't know if it is a man or a woman, it's not relevant anyway, they asked him or her €100 just to take a look to determine what the problem was. So this person obviously refused that, and my friend Miguel told me that, like, listen, I have this friend, she has this situation, what do you think? And I say, okay, most probably it's the diaphragm that is oily, so just get the lens to me and I will take a look. So what we're going to do is, therefore, to work on this lens is a 135mm 2.8. is branded Avanar, but it is a ubiquitous lens design from the 80s. It is M42, and I have seen tons of them with different brands. This is Avanar, I have seen Carenar, I have seen Konica, I have seen, yeah, whatever. The lens design is quite similar, so if you have a lens 135 2.8 of this time and it has a similar issue, you can most probably follow this tutorial to fix your lens. Okay, so how to disassemble this guy? So what we're going to do is, first of all, we want to remove the optical block to access what is behind. So what we're going to do is just to come to the minimum focusing position, and we should rotate, and we will see a set screw. And it took me a lot of time just to discover this, because I started disassembling the first time from the back, which also works, but it is not very effective. So with the set screw, just loose and be very careful, it can be lost very easy. Okay, here you go. We have removed the element with the brand and yeah, the rest of it. And I think I did the silly mistake of pushing this thing with the set screw partially out. Not very smart. Okay, yeah, don't do that. Okay, here we go. We'll get it in just in case I do. That's it in again. Okay, and so you see the front element, and here you can see some set screws that we are going just to get loose now. I say get loose, don't remove. These ones are also very easy to lose. Okay, and normally I should be able to pull the whole optical block, and something is blocking. Okay, you have all these elements that can get easily blocked. So the diaphragm mechanism is a bit complex, and then here I think that we can maybe get to close the diaphragm. Okay. Here you go, and now I'm trying to get okay, you get there a bit of the thing that is really oily. Okay, so we made of our diagnostic. Now I'm going to ask 100 euros to my friend. Not really, that's a joke. Okay, so now we want to access the diaphragm, and to do so I see there's a little gap here, so that tells me that this is not a single part. And the first time I disassembled the lens, because I obviously disassembled the lens before showing it to you, I struggled a lot with this. So what I did was to put some solvent. This is just acetone on a box, and I put a little bit here on this seam, and I repeat it a few times. Then with rubber gloves I had to apply a lot of force, and like that we reach the problematic point, which is the oily diaphragm. And this is as far as I got when looking for the best way to disassemble the lens. So what we need to do now, since this diaphragm looks somehow a complex assembly, we have 1, 2, 3 springs. This I still need to understand. And what we're going to do just before going further is just to take a picture, so if we mess up we know what to do afterwards. Okay, so I took a picture, I hope it is okay, and now I will get just a little base, and I will do something for safety, because the first time I was working with this lens I had this little spring that jumped. Okay, so I was telling you this was the point I reached when I disassembled the lens, and what I see now is that there is glue here and here. So what I'm going to do just now is to add a little bit of acetone to that glue. I will let it work for a few seconds. In the meantime, I just went to pick my compass that I'm going to use to open this, and very good thing, the acetone did her job. So here we go. We have removed the plate, and that we have to clean now, just to remove the traces of acetone. And then here we have our diaphragm. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the video for a few seconds just to get ready for the cleaning of this element. So I am ready for the clean, and that just means that I got what I need to proceed with the cleaning. That's a metal cap, some lighter fluid that you can find on the video description, and some toilet paper. Okay, now before proceeding further, we want to finish the disassemble of this. So first thing we are going to do is just to remove this little spring kind of hook on the ring. So it is loose now, and my guess is, yeah, if we flip it, everything is going to fall, and we can see some traces of oil. So we will need to be really careful when cleaning the traces there on the inside, not to dirty the glass because it's clean, and that will be a pity. And here we have the parts for the diaphragm. Pay attention to the order. So we have this first ring here, then the pivot, the middle part. So I drop it here in the reverse order, and then the diaphragm sheets. I put it on the cup. We wash with the lighter fluid. Then we recover the elements. That I should have put over toilet paper. Okay, I see the lighter fluid is a bit yellow now, so meaning it was really oily. And then I proceed to dry everything. This I'm going to fast forward for you. Okay, that's for the clean, very simple. I just have this element that you can see a trace of oil there. You get the idea. I will do it off the camera as I need to be extremely careful, and we meet in a few seconds just to reassemble the whole thing. Okay, so we are ready for the reassembly. This is the first time I face this kind of diaphragm, because usually they're in a sandwich and then the leaves are in between. But here you have this structure which is slightly different. You have the two sheets which are superposed, and then the sheet, the lift, pivots here and then takes the motion below here. So a bit different, but once you have understood how it works, yeah, that should be fine. Okay, and now we should start assembling the diaphragm, which is not very easy, starting from this kind of position. Oh. Okay, this is usually the hardest because you have to go below the previous one, the first one I mean, and above the previous one, but then there is some interference here which is making my life a bit difficult. And it is also the first time in my life that I work with this kind of diaphragm. Okay, I got it. It was a bit more luck than anything else. Okay, and now before going further and doing anything else, we are going to put this plate, so we will secure our diaphragm assembly because it feels to me very fragile. Okay, I cannot go any further. But then here I can do the motions without any big trouble. So what we're going to do next is to put the very little spring that is also very difficult to catch. So we have this very little guy that you see there, and that we need to put around here. So be extremely careful with this. I almost lost it, almost got a panic attack yesterday trying to look for it. It fell on my table. Okay, so this is the first part, and then let me just, so this is the max I can zoom, and then what I need to do, okay, is just to hook this part so the diaphragm don't rotate anymore. So that's for the first element, and then we put the second spring. That goes in here. Then with the tweezers we get to the next position, and here you go. So the diaphragm, okay, you see now is able to come back on his own. So this is exactly what we wanted, and now we can just simply proceed to reassemble the lens. Let me zoom back. Here I'm just going to take advantage. There was like a little speck of dust. So I blow, I put it, the hole, towards the floor just to avoid any pieces of dust coming in. Then here I blow just to eliminate any possible traces of dust, and then we can reassemble this block here. and then we can proceed to the very tricky procedure of putting this back into the body. So, and what we should do is just to put this thing in line with that fork there and hope for the best. And as you can see, I have already lost my little spring once because I used the wrong surface to hold it. Okay. Pay attention to that. And here we try to get everything inside. We get a view of the fork that you can see it from this side, and so far so good. Something seems to be blocking, I don't know what. Oh no, nothing blocks. I'm actually in entirely. This is very good. Now I just need to make sure I have the right thing. Okay, so here when I press this button, something should be happening, and then nothing is going on right now. Oh, okay. Okay. I put myself in F22, and now when I press the button, it closes the diaphragm. So this should be the right position, and then if I rotate it by hand just a little bit, you can see this going back and forth. And so once we get that aligned as we want, we can, using these set screws here, fix the rotation and the motion of the optical assembly. So far so good. Then here, just to finish, this is probably the easiest part. Okay, remember that I screwed this in. Be careful not to lose it, because it can fall really easy. And then now we just need to screw the lens body here. We screw in, we make sure we don't have any issues, and here you go, we have fixed the oily aperture problem of this 135 2.8. And this is all for today. See you next time.